It seems like forever ago since Hotline's freak leak accident, doesn't it? When in reality, it's only been a couple months since that traumatic event. And since then, the system's been completely disassembled by yours truly, and I've assessed the damage to be so severe that it's unlikely that I'll ever reassemble the system to its previous condition, which is quite sad, obviously. But don't shed any tears just yet, because I kind of wanted to take this opportunity for this video to talk about Hotline 2.0 and give you guys a glimpse at the direction that I'm planning to take and the parts that I may potentially use for the legendary PC's successor. The PC37X gaming headset from Mastrop and Sennheiser brings you into the game with an open-back design featuring angled drivers for pinpoint locational accuracy. Be heard clearly through the fold-down noise-canceling mic and enjoy the long-lasting comfort of large plush velvet ear pads. Now available in an all-matte black finish, so the headset looks as good as it sounds. For more info, click the link in the description and catch the drop before it's gone. Now before I start rattling off a bunch of parts that I want to use for this build, because that's mainly what this video is about, there are a couple key points I want to mention before we dive into it. Since one of the main objectives of this 2.0 build is to pay homage to the first Hotline, I really want to incorporate a similar look and feel in order to showcase certain aesthetic choices that made the original build so unique. With that in mind, however, we're going to see a huge overhaul with the actual components being used, because the original Hotline was built around 2 years ago, and so now we have this new wave of current-gen hardware that we'll be swapping out for all the original parts. This will make Hotline 2.0 a faster, more powerful, and more expensive build in the end. As far as color scheme goes, I'm probably going to stick with hot pink and gray, but this time around I'm going to add a splash of teal or turquoise, just to switch things up a bit. I've always been a huge fan of the hot pink and teal color scheme. It's also a pretty prominent color scheme in the video game Hotline Miami, which is a game that A, I was obsessed with around the time that I was building Hotline, and also B, the video game that gave me the inspiration to name the PC Hotline in the first place. So paying a bit of homage to the game, I guess, in that sense, and also just because I really like that color combo. Obviously, there aren't many pink and teal components on the market, so it's going to be a challenge for me to sort of tie in these funky colors into the build organically, but I do have a few ways of doing that, depending on the fluid that I choose. There's RGB lighting, of course, custom cable sleeving, and even doing custom paint jobs. Hopefully all of those elements will be enough for me to tie together a working color scheme for this build. Another important thing to note is that some of the parts in this build will actually be carried over from the Nzxt Elite system that I put together several months back. And there's nothing wrong with that build. The Elite build will always have a special place in my heart, but it's just too overkill and cumbersome for my personal needs. And it's just been sitting there. I haven't booted it in months, and it's really sad for me to see such a beautiful high-end system just sit there. So I'm gonna tear it to pieces. The specs of Hotline 2.0 are not gonna be a carbon copy of the Elite build by any means, but do prepare to see some close similarities. Last thing I wanna mention before we move on is that the parts list I'm about to share with you guys is subject to change. Nothing is set in stone just yet, and there are a number of factors that could potentially sway the items on this list. Factors such as any compatibility issues that pop up that are unforeseen at the moment. It could be that I have a change of heart at some point and wanna swap certain parts out for whatever reason. And even the feedback that you guys leave on this video after watching it from start to finish could potentially change the items on this list. So I just want to make that very clear. For our case, I'm very strongly leaning towards Fractal's Define R6 at the moment for a couple reasons. For starters, it is a nice successor to the Define S, which was used for the original Hotline, but has a lot of the modernized features that the Define S lacked, such as a tempered glass side panel and a power supply shroud, to name a few. It's also just a great case overall in terms of build quality and the building experience. I've already assembled 2 systems inside this chassis. I've been really happy with it, and to top things off, it's got a lot of potential when it comes to custom water cooling. So I think all of those reasons combined make this a super strong contender for a Hotline 2.0 case. The processor I'm choosing is actually one of the few components that I'm carrying over from the Nzxt Elite build. This is the Intel Core i9-7980XE, and this particular chip is the one that I had delidded by Steve from Gamers Nexus, where he was able to drastically cut down on the low temperatures as well as improve upon the power efficiency of the 7980XE. So yes, it's an insane CPU with 18 cores and 36 threads at its disposal on LGA 2066, which I think is a nice throwback to the X99 platform that was used with the original Hotline build. The motherboard I picked is the Asus TUF X299 Mark I, and I selected this board for a couple reasons. For starters, when it comes to Asus X299 boards, I feel like this particular model doesn't get as much attention as a lot of the other flagship boards do. And so I kind of like the idea that this board hasn't been seen in many builds yet, at least by me. Additionally, the original Hotline build used the Asus Sabertooth X99 board, so it has a very similar design language as this one. And finally, the fact that we're using thermal armor here gives us a lot of play when it comes to customization and doing a custom paint job, essentially. Being able to remove that armor, do whatever we want with it, and then placing it back on the board without much fuss is very appealing to a modification noob like myself. Now, when deciding what I was going to choose for memory, I was really debating back and forth in my head whether or not I was going to use Rgb Memory, because Rgb Memory was not nearly as prevalent a couple years ago as it is now. Now it's almost inescapable. But you can see here that I've clearly caved and thrown all my morals out the window, as I will be going the Rgb Memory route after all. With a kit of Corsair Vengeance Rgb Pro, this is a 64 gig 8x8 gig kit, DDR4 at 3000 megahertz speed. This kit was first unveiled and shown off at Computex earlier this year, just a couple weeks ago. I liked the way they looked. The LEDs looked really bright, and there's 10 LEDs per module, so the transition and gradient is very smooth and seamless. They look like really good sticks, and I do trust the Corsair name when it comes to performance and reliability as well, so very excited to be using this in the build. For our graphics cards, I'll once again be borrowing from the Nth Elite build a pair of Asus ROG Strix GTX 1080 Ti OC editions, which are fantastic cards. They're incredibly fast, factory overclocked, 11 gigs of GDDR5X. I cannot speak highly enough about these cards. They'll of course have custom water blocks on them, so you won't be seeing the fancy air cooler that you see here in the picture. But then there's also the potential of the GTX 1180s just around the corner, and so I was faced with this decision of, do I build now with the existing hardware that I have on hand, or do I hold out for the next generation of GeForce cards? And I'm choosing to build now. I'm going to choose to build now with the strong possibility of upgrading these 1080 Ti's for either 1180s or 1180 Ti's if those are around the corner as well when the time comes. Also recycled from the Elite build will be the Enermax Platamax DF Series 1200 watt power supply. It's 80 plus platinum certified, fully modular. This thing is an absolute animal. It's incredibly reliable, backed by the Enermax name, and the fan is also incredibly quiet. In fact, it doesn't even spin up unless you're around 30 to 40% load or higher. Fans, fans, fans. Hotline 2.0 is gonna need a lot of fans. Even though it's a water-cooled system, you still need fans to dissipate the heat that's being absorbed by your radiators and fin stacks and exhaust hot air outside of your case in general. So for that task, I'm employing the Fractal Design Venturi HP12 PWMs, which did such a great job in the first Hotline that I would expect no less of them this time around as well. So for our boot drive, we have one of Samsung's newest NVMe M.2 SSDs. This is their 970 EVO in a 250 gig capacity, which will be blazing fast in terms of load times and overall snappiness of the system. We'll be pairing that with one of Samsung's 2 terabyte 960 Pro NVMe SSDs. Some of you guys probably recall me putting 2 of these in RAID 0 in the Elite build, and clearly one of them will be carried over to Hotline 2.0 to be used for mass storage. Maintaining some of the flair and illumination of Hotline 1.0, I'll be bringing back the Nzxt Hue Plus, which still till this day is one of my favorite RGB lighting systems, mainly because of all the cool effects that you can do, and the fact that Nzxt is regularly updating the cam software and adding new features to it. Overall makes me really happy to see it return for this build. Here's a quick look at the high bandwidth SLI bridge that I plan to use, which is the Asus ROG model with fancy AuraSync RGB lighting. And it's kind of funny, the original Hotline build had Asus graphics cards, but an EVGA SLI bridge, because I didn't have a nicer bridge on hand at the time, and I never bothered swapping it out later down the line with an Asus one. So here's my chance to redeem myself. Finally, the cards and the bridge will be from the same manufacturer, and any curse the PC gods placed over me years ago will finally be lifted. Now we can move on to all the custom water cooling hardware, which, just a heads up, is going to be mostly from EK Water Blocks, because A, that's the brand that was used for Hotline 1.0, and B, they seemed really down to support this project, and I'd love to work with them again for Hotline successors. So here we have the water block, which is exactly the same water block that I used for 1.0. It's the EK Supremacy Evo in black. It's acetal construction and all that. I'm actually going to use the exact same block if I can. There's no reason why I can't just use the same block. I probably don't even need to ask them for a new one, because it is still in working condition. We will have to order some fresh GPU blocks, however, as we are using a different GPU layout this time around. These are EK's GTX 1080 Ti Strix Edition nickel-plated copper water blocks with acetal tops. And these will be pairing very nicely with some Strix branded backplates. Super plain and simple. Also some Strix branding at the bottom right corner there by the EK logo. And then radiators. We'll be putting 2 radiators in Hotline 2.0, very much like 1.0. However, instead of having a 360 and a 240 like the original, we'll have 2 360 radiators this time around. For starters, we have an EK Coolstream SE360. This is a slim rad at 28 millimeters thick that we'll be placing on the top of the system, the top of the case, just because we have a little bit more clearance issues when it comes to RAM and VRM heatsinks and things like that than we do at the front of the case, where we can afford a much thicker radiator at 60 millimeters with one of these Coolstream XE360s. Here's the pump res combo I was considering. It's the EK X-Res 140 DDC 3.2 PWM Elite. And it's a tried and true option. There's definitely higher end pumps to be had from EK, such as their D5 series, but I believe those pumps are also thicker at their base. This is a very slim profile, and that's one of the reasons why it's tentatively on this list, is because I'm planning to fasten this pump res to the system with this Bits Power Premium Reservoir mount that mounts to the radiator or your radiator fans. And so this would actually mount to the front radiator fans of the case, and I'm afraid that by using an EK D5 pump, that it would cause clearance issues with the radiator when using this mounting solution. But I'm not sure. If it doesn't, then I'm all for using the D5. But assuming that does cause some clearance issues, I'm probably gonna use this DDC pump instead. But you guys let me know if you have any experience using an EK D5 pump with this particular mount, and it doesn't run into clearance issues with the radiator, then I'll probably go the D5 route. So it really just depends. And finally, I will once again be using hardline PETG tubing for this system, which means I'll be doing all the bends and runs myself as I usually do with the help of EK's compression fittings. So really exciting stuff. I think that's everything. Wow. I feel like I've been talking forever. My throat's like sore now. So those are all the parts and ideas that I currently have in mind for Hotline 2.0. And at this point, I really just want to hear from you guys. I want your honest feedback to help me make this the best possible successor to good old Hotline. I know a lot of you guys have watched me build Hotline since day one and have fallen in love with that system as much as I have, and that leads me to believe that a lot of you are just as emotionally invested in this project as I am. So I want you guys to be an active part of the process. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing everything you guys have to say in the comments. But that's it for me, guys. Go ahead and toss a like on this one if you enjoyed it. Get subscribed so you don't miss any more tech stuff coming at you really soon. And feel free to check me out on FLOATPLANE if you want to catch my videos a week early without ads for $3 a month. I'll put a link for that in the video description. Till next time, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourselves a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.